On a lonely, quiet, misty night after midnight in Melbourne, anything can happen, and it did. At that hour, only the reckless and unprincipled wander around. On such a night as this, a straggler from a theatre was wandering in the cool, calming night, remembering a lost daughter who he'd lost many years ago on a night like this. This day, to be exact, 28 years earlier, she was murdered with her husband as they walked the street he was in. He came, as he always did this night, to lay a rose for them. He did so unbothered for all the times he had come. Before that night, he pulled out an old locket and looked at it sadly and opened it, looking at the pictures inside it. They were his daughter and her husband. The father pulled a red rose from his inside coat pocket and laid the rose on the wet road. As the father knelt, laying the rose, there was a noise nearby on the road, like a splash in a puddle. He looked up and saw a man with a gun trained on him.
Don't move.
The father did as he was ordered.
What do you want? That locket.
Thinking he could fence it for money.
You don't want it. It just has a picture of my dead daughter and son-in-law. Give it to me, or you're dead.
The father, not wanting to die, gave the locket over to the thief, who left the father crying on the road, cursing his mortality. Later that day, the locket was found on the scene of a murder, not a victim of the thief, but the thief himself. It was taken by the police as evidence, which strangely disappeared in the forensics. The police thought it was stolen, so they identified the people in the photos by evidence photos to find the thief. They were found to be the daughter and son-in-law of the local coroner, who they rightly pick as the thief.
Blake.
The man in charge of the local police station said to his grandnephew, the coroner. The coroner guessed why he came.
What, Uncle Ray? Why did you steal the locket? It was evidence.
Blake looked away from his uncle, closing his eyes,
It's mine.
who was too proud to admit to the police he was robbed.
Blake, it is evidence. No, it's mine. He stole it from me when I was visiting the place Kira and Alex were murdered. What? He robbed me at gunpoint, telling me he'd kill me if I didn't give him the locket. You are a magician. You could have stopped him with magic. I was scared. Of what? Can't be of death. Why? You die all the time, King of Death. Maybe, but I can't die like that. It would kill me for good or bad. He saw only dollar signs. If I did his will, I would live. You should report the robbery to the police officially. I can't. Just imagine how people would react if they knew I gave in to him and did what he said. Me, the King of Death and a magician, I'll never live it down. You're right. Thanks. If you don't come forward, we can't return the locket to you. Not if I don't give it back. You can't steal evidence. You work for the police. I can. No, you can't. I won't let you.
Blake, give it to your uncle. Dante? I was listening. Eavesdropping, how rude, Dante. Blake, give back the evidence or I will sick Jack Taylor on you.
He knew the only man who could annoy Blake enough to make him do the right thing was Jack Taylor.
No, you wouldn't.
Dante pulled out his mobile phone.
Don't.
Dante spoke to his phone.
Sally, turn on speakerphone and call Jack Taylor.
Calling Jack Taylor, there was a dial tone sound.
Hello? Sorry, wrong number. Okay.
If the locket doesn't go to you, Blake, where should it go?
After it's released. Why not give it to Astra, your granddaughter, Blake? She is Valkyra and Alexander Merlin's daughter. Yes, she will love it.
I'll try to get it given to her. She deserves it. I remember how happy Astra's parents were together and how much in love they were. They'd be so happy with their daughter having the locket.